what's hot on my personal life. We just had our first official elevated training. I finished the elevated training manual last week. So that was a beast to put together, but very, very exciting to see that come together, get time with my brother, my partner, my sister, and just where we're going. And just super excited about where the company is going and how we're going to help tons of people when it comes to energy management and really living their best life. So really stoked about that. And then professionally here with you guys, just really seeing the growth that's been happening. I had a chance to talk with Lloyd yesterday for a while and just talk about this next year, and where the division, I talked with Brian Winans and carved out some territories and made some new territories actually in our division, just because we have so many exciting people that we're working with. And I know we have some people right now that are away that had weddings and graduations that were happening today, and I spoke to them before to get info. Thank you. I know several of you in here have parties and things going on today, and thank you for pushing those back or getting there late. I know there's 3 or 4 of you guys that have stuff going on that you'll head to later, but really appreciate us coming together to get ready to do some damage. And so this meeting was really to get us together to make sure everyone is on the same page in terms of where we're at and where we're going as an organization, and really what it's going to take. And I think this is, great for you guys, branches, to take some notes on this, because this is stuff that you want to share with your guys as you're running your office, Veronica, as you're running your office, Jacob. And, one of the things that I feel a lot of new managers lack in is the ability to really create vision for their organization and where they want it to go and what it's going to look like and what it's going to take to get there. Because, there's one thing of excitement and enthusiasm, but there's also things it takes to create those results that you want to have, And I think about for us as a division in GCK, our mission is to develop the highest quality leaders in and out of Vector. Like, I want champions in life, like just champions in and out of the business. Like, whatever you're doing, you're just absolutely kick butt at it. And I had a chance to share with some people that I mentor out of the business and just talking about entrepreneurship. So for years now, obviously I've done it within Cutco, but outside of Cutco too, have mentored different friends, friends of friends who wanted coaching when it came to entrepreneurship. And it's just so cool because I always talk about you guys and what you guys learn here. And this is, for you. And I put here, and Mary Lou helped put this together, so I appreciate her helping out with this. It says, build your resume 10 ways. And, what you guys have available to really stand out. Because I think about this job, this weird knife job, is the most unbelievable job you can have to stand out when you guys graduate and to really be prepared for whatever is at hand. And so I want to walk through these with you guys. And so the first one, and don't forget, like, this is something we've talked about, like the skills you're getting here, like when you're going to apply, when you're going for jobs, like this is the stuff that people are looking for and they want to see. And in this job, you get a chance to learn through the different positions, which we're going to go through, the ability to work in a team structure, ability to make decisions and solve problems, ability to communicate verbally with people inside and outside an organization, ability to plan, organize, and prioritize work, ability to obtain and process information. By the way, those first 5 are all things you guys learn and are doing on a day-to-day basis. And those who are in management, even at a higher level, ability to analyze quantitative data. As a manager, as a business owner, as an office manager, you have to be able to look at Vector Live, look at numbers, look at stats, where are the holes? And those are things we're going to help and coach you guys on how to do that. Technical knowledge related to the job, obviously depending on what field you're going into, that's going to change. Proficiency with computer software programs. Then number 9, ability to create and or edit written reports. Those are things that you'll do. And number 10, ability to sell and influence others. So I think it's pretty awesome. 8 out of the 10 things that Forbes magazine lists as the top reasons that employers, like what they're looking for in people, we teach here in this job. The other one's just like literally technical work and just using a computer. So I think that's pretty awesome what you guys have here and what you do. So what are the things you can be doing? You want to jot these down. So 10 ways to stand out on your resume, and whether you're newer to this as assistant manager candidate, or for those of you as you're developing your people, do they know what's available to them? All right. So first is promotions, being able to say they hit 3 promotions, 4 promotions their first summer or their first week. Think about your guys that do that and they're faster, right? And they can say, hey, I hit 3 promotions my first week on the job. And seeing that when companies see how quickly you move up, in the rankings, you know, like that shows a lot, and that you didn't just stay at your level. We able to, by the way, it takes a long time in a lot of jobs to have a promotion. And what's great here is your promotions are based on you, your work ethic. It's a numbers game, you know, and in terms of sales. And then obviously there's managerial promotions as well. But promotions are our first thing. So can you help your people maximize the amount of promotions they're getting in their first week and in their campaign in their summer working with you? And obviously career milestones, right? Like even shipping 50K in a year, things like that. Like those are things that we look at as a sales volume. Number 2 is field training. You know, have you guys maximized your field training certifications? Do you know about your field training, training certifications? And so we have over there on the wall, the field training tracking board, you know, but for you guys, what levels? You got 5 field trainings, is a certified field trainer, 15 field trainings, field training advisor, 25 field trainings, senior field trainer, 50 field trainings. You get the starfish and the plaque that talks about you know, making a difference. And so when employers see this, they see that you're not just a great rep yourself, but that you're also into helping other people. And for them, that's huge. You know, when they see people who are into helping develop people within the organization, that's something that really stands out. And they see that you want to help the team succeed. How about Consistency Club? That's another thing. Some of you guys have focused on that. You've seen, you know, KP done over a year, Jonathan going for 2 years. You know, and whether it's, you know, 8 weeks in a row, and you guys have different levels of things you can win for 5 weeks in a row, 10 weeks in a row, 20 weeks in a row, 52 weeks in a row for newsletter tracking. We haven't even done a good job just tracking those on there. But you personally, like if I'm you or if I'm coaching someone, I'm keeping track of that. I'm like, all right, I want to be over $1,000 every week. I want to be on that newsletter, because consistency stands out to companies, because they see that this is not, again, just a one-hit wonder. This is someone who we can count on. This is someone we can lean on. This is a consistent performer. So through Weekend Warrior, through weekly on the newsletter, they really see that. That's a big thing. Number 4 is President's Club, okay? If you have not won your President's Club letter, I think most people in here have already won theirs. That's something you definitely want to chase after. And when you're coaching people and you're developing people, you guys definitely want to help them get that letter, all right? And this letter is pretty awesome. I know Zach will be here Monday, just got back from school. Zach, this was just for last summer, says, to whom I may concern, it is with my great pleasure that I submit to you my recommendation of Zach Short, who was associated with our company in a sales capacity during the summer of 2016. As a sales rep for Vector, Zach has received extensive training in interpersonal communications, time management, and the importance of an individual's attitude regarding their accomplishments. In addition to attending our professional training seminar, he also attended sales conferences where he participated in extensive workshops with individuals in his peer group and managers of the corporate staff. I've received the highest personal recommendation from Zach's manager, Kathy Vasquez. During his time with us, Zach has won many sales awards. He has distinguished himself not only through sales performance, but as a potential leader through involvement in the operation of our district office. And it keeps going, talking about how it requires hard work, self-discipline, willingness to accept challenge, high degree of personal responsibility to be a top producer. And so it goes on to talk about all that. It says, in closing, feel free to contact me personally at our corporate headquarters. It has my phone number. Kathy Vasquez, my number here. And then it's hand signed by the president of our company. All right. So that's freaking awesome. And this is a company that sells $250 million a year, you know? So that's pretty sweet to put into your resume, put into your arsenal. You know, I think about another thing is conference attendance and just being at events. And I think about, you know, when companies see that you attend events, it shows a desire for professional growth. You know, it shows that you're someone that wants to keep improving, wants to keep moving forward. And that also goes a long way. So you're able to obviously highlight, you know, being a top performer in terms of the competitions, but when they see you investing into, you know, going to a conference, taking time out of your day, right? You could have been working, making money, doing whatever, but understanding that by honing your skill sets and getting better, you will perform at a higher level when you are out there. And just the value of that, you know, companies get that, they know it. Annual milestones, you know, again, being able to show that you're a goal setter, that you're a goal achiever, that you're a consistent performer, that you're a top performer. There's all different awards that you guys can go after for the year. And so whether it's a Rising Star Award or you're going for a Silver Cup, it just shows that you set a goal and you went out and attained it. And there's someone that you can count on, all right? The next thing is Team Builder Scholarship. You know, I think about going out and being able to win a team builder award. It shows companies that you're not all about yourself, but also you're into the team doing well, right? That goes along with field training, but that you also want to help build their organization. So you see the vision, you believe in the vision, and you want to help build the vision. So that stands out. So we have scholarships that you guys can win for team building. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit with team building, and just that's how we're going to build next year. How we're going to go after the Silver Cup in 2017 and build championship offices is really through our personal recruiting. So we're going to talk about that because that's definitely how our organization's been built. Then you have GCLA. All right, so with GCLA, we've got 3 different internships that come from GCLA. All right, so these are 3 other things you guys can put onto your resume. So for anyone who doesn't know, and the newer guys who are here, GCLA is Gulf Coast Leadership Academy. And so this is where you learn a lot of the skills that we talked about with presentation skills, time management, learning how to run a business. So there's different aspects. First, there's a sales internship, right? Going out and learning how to sell. I know this summer we've got some people already locked down for sales internships in our office, and they're going to be mentored by Randy, and they're going for $50, $75, or $100,000 in sales this summer. And they really want to learn how to be a great sales representative. So knowing how to build rapport, knowing how to build clientele, knowing how to, organize and structure, your clients, to be able to follow up, get repeat business. Like, these are big things for companies. Again, you're always selling. You're selling yourself, you're selling an idea, you're selling a service, or you're selling a product. And so you're getting a chance to really hone those skill sets in terms of belly to belly with customers, organizational skills, some really cool tools that you guys can utilize for the future. And so they see that that you're mastering and you're practicing administrative functions like order submission, time management, record keeping, with corporate policies and expectations. We have management internships, and we're really excited about those who are here, who are newer, that came to check stuff out. And we'll talk about it later. I'll meet with a handful of you guys and talk about this, but being able to lead others, learning how to manage a team, like a mini team, not necessarily being responsible for learning how to start up a company and get a business rolling, but just managing an existing business. There's a difference, by the way, with those 2 things. There's the business owner that opened that restaurant. There's the general manager that operates it on a day-to-day basis. They're different skill sets. And so the owner, there's a lot more that goes into starting a company. So here you are getting the managing people, inspiring people, managing teams, learning those skill sets there. Maybe you're putting together projections, and you're making sure things are getting hit, holding people accountable. In our business, you're managing a mini team. Maybe you're learning recruiting. You're a recruiting manager. You're running interviews. You're working with people. It's a phenomenal internship to get better, get more confident with leadership skills, okay? But the ultimate internship that we have that I'd encourage you guys all to fight after, and something that it stands out, and this is from a paper document that was put here, so don't worry about trying to read all this, but our entrepreneurship internship and really learning the startup of a company. And like I said, I coach people, friends of mine, people out of the business in terms of starting their own companies. And I was talking to a couple people last week, and I have a friend who has a dog walking business in DC, and she really wants to take it to the next level, and she's super stressed out. She's like, Kathy, I don't know how you run a business, and now you're running 2 businesses, and I just don't get it. She's like, I can barely handle my dog walking business, and it's just me. And you handle all these people or all these offices, and now you have this other. And I started laughing, and I was like, dude, I said, I'm not saying this in a bad way. I was like, you don't know how to run a business. I was like, I love you to death, Heather. I was like, but you don't know how to run a business. I said, you have the right concepts. You're a grinder. I said, but I don't know that you ever. I'm like, did you ever get coached on entrepreneurship skills? She's like, not really, and I just sat with her, and it was basic things from step 1. I said, step 1, running a business. I said, put a business plan. What does it look like? What do you want it to look like? Know the vision of what you want it to look like. What is it going to take? How many people? What's the cost? Break down your finances. And so I was talking to her about making a business plan. I was like, then I said, you need to do guerrilla marketing, like mass advertising. Did you make flyers and send them out everywhere about your dog walking business? Do you have stuff up on the neighborhood, bulletin boards? Do you have ads up on Craigslist, whatever you have, Facebook group? But just making sure, does everyone know about your business? All right. Now, if you need extra help, she's like, yeah, but I need help with this, that. I said, okay, then we advertise for help. Here's how you want to advertise. And I was just showing her basics of that. But I was like, you have to have a plan. You have to have organization. You have to you're going to go through a time. And she's like, I just want to do it myself. I said, you can, but if you want to scale a business, you can't do it all yourself. So you have to learn how to train others and coach others. And you learn that when you're running a business. And those of you who run, you mentor other people, you mentor assistant managers, people doing management internships, and teach them how to do it as good as you. And being able to let go of the reins a little bit as a business owner and saying, okay, my job as a business owner is to train people to be better at this than me. Like, that's my job, and to watch them and to give them tips, to give them keys, to see them grow and develop. And you get to learn that. And guys, learning how to start up a company, it's something that you can apply to anything, all right? So whatever field you want to go into, whether you want to open a skate park, whether you want to open a tutoring company, whether you want to have a boutique shop, whether you want to have your own dental practice or law practice, whatever it is, knowing those foundations, that's just huge. So we've got people in the room right now who are working hard towards this entrepreneurship internship. I'm going to be having conversations. I know we had people, like I said, there was some weddings and actual graduations. Adrian's sister was graduating this morning, so he's at the graduation. But that I'll be talking to on where we're going and what's happening and really solidifying. I'll tell you guys right now, the final, you guys being here, obviously that's more points to you guys, but these next 3 weeks is big time in terms of us making decisions of who gets spot, who doesn't, and getting territories. My goal is that on January 13th, when we're at Year in Banquet, we can announce where everybody's going and have that all in lockdown. So you guys can start doing your homework and start setting yourself up and start with your proper social media strategy to make sure you're setting yourself up for connections in your territory, in your area, wherever you're going to be. All right. So these next couple weeks, we want to see these things come. Like, what's important as we're building this, first, class and professionalism. Like, how are people handling themselves? This is something that I talk to the managers, and I want to know, where is this person? Do we feel comfortable with this person representing us? Like, if you're going to go out and say you're part of GCK and you're doing an internship with us, like, do we feel comfortable with Brandon saying that? Where I'm like, oh, don't tell them that you're with me. All right. So how do you treat people? Do you inspire people? Do you make them feel good? I've seen managers that make people feel like crap. I've seen people that talk down to people. I've seen people who didn't handle pay the right way. I've seen people say, well, you didn't follow this, so like, sucks for you. Instead of really being helpful and bringing the best out of people. And that's what we want. And so that class and professionalism and how people are treated, do they feel good? If they said to you, Barbara, this job is just not for me, there's managers that are like, well, probably because you're lazy. Or, like, there's managers that'll say stuff and make people feel bad versus, you know what, dude, it's not for everybody. But I'd be really excited about coaching you further. I know you didn't get a chance to really get the job. So if anything changes, you know where to find me. I'd be super excited to have you with us. All right. So high five, thank you. And thank you for the time you gave us. And make them feel good. All right. Don't make them feel bad. And I'll tell you guys, it pays off. It pays off in dividend. When they bump into someone, their friend says, I applied for the knife job, and they go, oh, dude, I did that. Yeah, it wasn't for me, but Barbara was awesome. Like, she's so sweet. Like, tell her I said hi. They're really cool, and they're still able to say that. So how do you leave people? Like, I want to leave people better than I found them. And that's really important. I encourage you guys to do the same. Second thing is fundamentals excellence. So from our representatives, from on a rep level, do we have the basics down? Do we have the closing down? Do we have the recs down? Do we have the phones down? But as managers, do we have our fundamentals down, right? Do we know how to rock the PR program? Do we know the Silver Cup formula of what it takes to feed the kids and make sure that our offices are operating at the highest level every single day? So we need to make sure we're mastering the basics. And today, Jordan's going to be meeting with you guys. I'm going to go through the PR program and what the rep-driven program looks like. We'll review the traditional. We're going to go through the rep-driven program and talk about that, and just making sure you guys know how to really nail that the right way. As you're building and driving your organization. I'll talk about here in a bit. Like, that's one of the most important things. But know that. So if you have your basics down, that's where you have a solid foundation to build upon. If you don't build a solid foundation, it's going to fall apart. Does everyone understand that? So your reps businesses will fall apart. Your business will fall apart. You've got to have that fundamentals excellence. Third thing is high standards of sales performance. And what I love is that in our business, we get rewarded for doing our job. It's like, hey, you kick butt. Good for you. And we get to win free trips. We get to travel all over the world. We went to Rome. We're going to Costa Rica. We're going to Nicaragua. We went to Spain. We got to Budapest. Like all these. I'm like, oh my gosh. You know, like we travel the world with this crazy knife job. You know, we win cool stuff. Stuff shows up at my door for years. I'm like, what's that? Oh, I want a TV. Oh, that's cool. I own like 6 TVs with Cutco, you know? I'm like, oh, I got, you know, a pair of shoes, went on a shopping spree. I was at dinner on Sunday, and my friend was like, nice bag. And I was like, it's one of my favorite purchases. Like, how much was that? And I was like, said it was like $2,500. They're like, you paid? I was like, I want it. And they're like, your company bought you a $2,500 bag? I'm like, yeah, they spoil me. And they're like, what the heck? I was like, that was the coolest, you know, that was the coolest gift. But just different gifts that we get, you know, shopping sprees. I think it's pretty cool that we have a chance to do that. And you guys, anyone here like to travel? Or anyone here likes to travel? All right. We'll go through stuff. You guys have 2 trips that can be won. Some of you guys are on the cusp of one. Everybody can win both, and I'm going to talk about that here in a moment. And that goes to the 4th thing with exploding team building, PRs, and field training. All right, so you have 1 trip you guys are able to win for sales performance over the break, which we'll talk about. You have a trip you guys can win for PRs, okay? We're going to talk about that. Who you're going to be excited about 4 days, 3 nights, all expenses paid cruise to Cozumel, all right? Let me tell you, we had a freaking blast last year, all right? We got Cabo San Lucas, which I'm going to show you guys for the sales. Pretty freaking sweet. And then lastly, guys, a commitment to growth and contribution. By the way, myself, I think Francisco and one or two other people might be heading out there. I know we've got some different people from Southwest region. I know Jason Jeffries, I believe, will be out there. We're going to be in Haiti. We're going to be laying down the bricks, by the way, tomorrow night's the last night for bricks. And that's something too that I was going to spread out to the division. Anyone who's willing to donate $20. I'm looking for 20 people to pitch in $20 to get a GCK brick. And so we can put in, I'm going to match the rest of the money to have a brick. These bricks, the deadlines we made are tomorrow night, and those are going to be on the floor of the actual clinic in Haiti. So I have my own personal one, but I was like, I think it'd be cool to have a GCK one, so I'll pay the difference. So 20 people want to pitch in $20 for the GCK brick, or you could buy your own brick. Small one's $500, big one's $1,000. But really excited about that. All right. So we've got for sales performance. We got a little Cabo San Lucas trip, all right? Who's heard about Cabo already? Raise your hand if you've heard about Cabo, all right? This right here, by the way, Lloyd just went this past week. Him and his wife had their 20th anniversary, and he was like, you know what, let's go to Cabo and just like check it out. So they went down there just to like check it. He like sent the DVMs pictures like every day, and he's like selfies with his wife Tammy, showing us videos. He's like, do not miss Cabo. Do not let your people miss Cabo. I was like, oh, heck no. And check this out. This is ridiculous. And if you've seen it, you're going to see it again because it's freaking awesome. By the way, there's a beach here that we can hang out on. Private beach we take a boat to. It's amazing. This is the hotel we're staying at. Check this out. Yep. And there's swim-up bars. They serve soda. Unlimited. Best all-inclusive in the heart of Cabo. By the way, it's by the marina, by everything. We can walk across the street to downtown. Oh, yeah. This is our hotel. Look at these views. It's just so pretty. And the restaurants are awesome. He was telling us, like, all the restaurants they went to there. And by the way, they're all inclusive, meaning it's free. All the food is free. All the drinks are free. Everything, the restaurants, you eat there for free. It's all free. All free. The only money you'll spend is out in downtown. But you don't even have to go downtown. You just stay inside and party at the club at the hotel and drink for free and eat for free all night. Spa. Spa is not free. You can use the spa, but the services aren't free. You pay for the services. Look at this. I love Cabo. And this hotel, I can't wait. Jones Club. Isn't this beautiful? I just like, this is people, like this is, like they did their 20, like people go there for honeymoons, do stuff, and like, we just get spoiled for selling knives. That's our hotel.
When's the trip?
February 2nd. Huh? Cabo's my favorite. Cabo's my favorite, and then Puerto Vallarta is my second. Huh? Mm-hmm. Yep. So, pretty cool. So, April 2nd through the 5th, we will be going to that resort. And our goal, by the way, from GCK, I want to, and I know we're going to have CSPs going after it, some of the top guys. On the low end, I want to have at least double digits there. But I'm like planning, I'm like, I think we could have 20 people there. Because not only are you guys eligible management candidates, CSPs have a level that they can go for, and then fast starters from our training classes have a level they can go for. So really corralling the troops, like that would be ridiculous, by the way, to have that many people. Last year, I think GCK had like 3 people, all right? So being able to really capitalize on this contest. And for us, by the way, I'll tell you right now, we didn't set this up. We didn't set up plans in place where this year, like we have our alliance. Like I know my office, we have a reunion on Monday night at my house. We already have like, I don't know, 15, 20 people coming to my house on Monday night. And we're going to be talking about this. But this is a huge, huge thing. So who can you guys corral for this trip? So, for you guys, HTX, you guys have a lot of momentum you're building this week. College Station, the same thing as well. Finishing the year strong, going after the million. Well, that builds an incredible momentum that you guys have. Keep building your leads, keep building your recs, because that'll fall into, you guys can utilize that momentum straight into the push. So how do you win? Do you guys know how to win? Jot this down. Sell $10,000 for year-end banquet push, and you win it for free. Push dates are December 28th to January 13th, all right? It's 18 days. And they did it 18 days. Typically, these contests are like 10 to 14 days. And the reason they did it longer is because and this is for the candidates. Everyone has, CSPs have a different level, fast starters have a different level. So this right here, since most of you guys are running cycles, they made it longer to be able to qualify for it. So sell $10,000. So you sell that during the push. The other thing is you can sell $10,000 for the month of January, and you would contribute $600. So this trip, by the way, costs $1,200 per person, is what it is per person for the weekend. So it's not a cheap trip. So the company would be taking half the cost of the trip if you do that. But if you do it during the push, you get it for free. All right. So CSPs are invited to attend, and they have a separate contest for them to be able to win it. Cool. So that is sick nasty. So something that needs to happen, if you guys haven't looked at already, is mapping out with your managers. So here's what's happening divisionally. You guys can put this down and make sure you guys talk to your managers about this. On Monday, all right, on Monday, December 26th, and I know many of us are going for some big finishes to the year. So the 26th and 27th are still 2 days of selling for the year. You guys talk during break. It's like so distracting for me. So Monday the 26th, all right, this is an all-day call day. All right, all day call day. What does this mean? Literally from 8 a.m. until 9 p.m., people will be calling in the office to just load up the push, all right? And you'll go in different phases. By the way, around that, you should be doing demos. Everyone has big goals that we're finishing up. So it's like demo or phones the entire day that day, all right? You want to make sure that on that day, you're making 200 plus calls. So that's what's going down, 200 plus calls. So you can knock that out. 200 calls typically takes about 7 hours. So here you have 13 hours that the offices will be open, but you want to make 200 or more depending on what your goals are in calls. So what does that mean? Starting right now, starting this week, are you building momentum with your rec base to make sure you keep building that, and really rocking those out, all right? So that's happening. Then on Tuesday, the 27th, all right, we'll start in the pilot. We're going to be meeting 7:30 a.m., all right, on Tuesday through Friday, and then 8:30 a.m. on Saturdays. Anyone's invited to come to the pilot live. We'll be running alliance meetings here. Managers will be doing other alliance meetings or streaming in or doing calls. Talk to your manager, see what's happening. But just so you guys know, the pilot will be leading the charge. 7:30 a.m. alliance meetings Monday through Friday, but it'll start on Tuesday the 27th. All right, but we'll have morning alliance meetings for Cabo. We want a freaking crew in Cabo. And again, we'll be streaming these meetings in the morning. So if anyone wants to join in via stream, they're welcome to do so. So it'll be big phone time that day. And then on Saturday morning, the 31st, right before New Year's, we'll have a big phone gym that morning, because the 1st on Sunday, the office, we're going to have a phone gym happening from like 4 to 6, but really a lot of it we want to do beforehand. So Saturday morning, the 31st, we want to make sure the 2nd and 3rd are loaded up the following Monday and Tuesday, so we keep that momentum going. So you guys will hear, we'll get a calendar that'll be coming out with stuff that's going on, but just make sure you have this day is all day call day. So if you keep building momentum, next Monday, a week from Monday, we're going to be setting up the push in a big way. All right, so demos and phone calls throughout the whole day to keep building that. As I mentioned, we have the last day for bricks, and we're going to be laying these bricks down when I'm up there the first week of January. Last day for bricks is tomorrow night, in order for them to get made in time to be shipped to go with us for the first week of January on the trip. And we will be finishing and laying down concrete and putting the bricks down the floor of the clinic. So for anyone who doesn't know, we've been building a hospital, a mini clinic in Haiti. And so the whole floor basically is made of bricks. And so that'll have the names of all the people that helped build that clinic. So that's something that I would really love from any of you guys that want to partake. I know that actually yesterday, Jonathan Schmitz, he's like, hey, you can put down $250 for me. And I was like, all right, awesome. Like, I want to get a $1,000 brick from the division. So he's like, you can put $250 for me. And so anyone who's willing to donate $20 or more, you know, what do you feel comfortable throwing in? And even if you want to throw in $10, if it's better than nothing. But looking for anyone to say, hey, here's I was going to go out tonight to the movies. I'm going to put $20 towards the hospital in Haiti. Really appreciate that. So if that's something that you're willing to do, letting me know that. I'll have like a sign up later, and you can give me cash for that, or you can Venmo me, and that's all going to go to the brick. And I'm going to send that off to make tomorrow night. So that'll be pretty awesome. All right. So for us as leaders and as our team, one of the things that is really important to me as we're going into the new year is this: modest in speech, superior in action and performance. A lot of people like to talk a lot. And as we go into the year, you won't hear me talking a lot of smack, and I don't want to hear people when we go to Year-End Banquet telling Rocky Mountain, oh, we're taking you guys down, blah, blah, blah. Like, none of that matters, all right? What we need to go after is having our best year ever. Can you have your best year ever? Can you have your best summer ever? Can you help your reps have their best year ever? I know that if GCK comes together and gets the foundations, the fundamentals down, and we're focused on giving our best to next year, I know that we have what it takes to take it down. I know that we have what it takes to win the national championship. But it all starts with us focusing on ourselves and performing at our highest level. And so can you really be focused on, are you superior in action and performance? Because you can talk a lot, but are you following that talk? You know, are you getting ready? Are you preparing the right way running an office? Are you getting your lead base together so that branches, when July comes, because half of you guys last year were like, yeah, I'm going to sell, and didn't do crap. All right, nice job, Brandon, leading the charge, ripping it up last year. But I need everyone ready to go. When July hits, it's go time. It's go time. You guys know how to sell. And I'm talking about selling, not like I sold 2K this week. No, you should be selling 2K a day, you know, and going after it through July and August. So are you preparing the right way? You know, do your actions match all the talk that you're talking? So I really want to make sure that we're focused on that, and that we really understand now affects later. Okay, everything you're doing right now will affect your results. And so the disciplines now, the organization now, the videos you're watching now, the audios we're listening to now. You know, do you guys, who here gets the FSM emails, you know, from Josh Mueller or Pato with training, coaching calls? Raise your hand if you get those. If you don't, those are things that I would subscribe to. All right, and so talk to Gordon or talk to someone about getting connected with that and getting on that list, because they send out audios, so you're constantly learning and just helping the field out. Or you can go on Vector Connect, and there's so much stuff there. But understand everything you're doing now affects later. And when you're doing something new, those of you going into a managerial role, or you're going into a branch role, you know, understanding this, like change is hard in the beginning, all right? It's messy. in the middle, and it's gorgeous at the end. And anytime you're going into something new, it's okay for it to feel weird at first, okay? Because you're learning something new. But then it's awesome, you know, once you have that down. And for branches, I want to commend you guys, because for you, you know, I remember this, my manager had shared this fortune cookie with me some years ago, and it's something that I always held on to. And he said, adversity willingly undergone is the greatest virtue. And, you know, being able to say, you know what, I do want to be shaped and molded. I do want it. Because guys, we only grow through adversity, you know? You only, like, are shaped and molded when you're put to that fire. And so saying, like, you know what, I want to move out of my comfort zone. I want to grow. I want to be a better person. I want to be more capable. And doing that willingly, you know, to say, you know what, I'm going to put myself in a position that is uncomfortable. You know, it's a little bit scary to go out and run your own business. You know, like, that's a little bit scary. I know some of you guys are like really excited. Like, it's hard, you know, and like, you're the boss and like, you're in charge of everything. Like, I cried every day my first month of my branch, straight up. All right. I think he cried too. All right. His version of it. All right. Like, it's not easy, but it's like, you know, saying, you know what, I want to grow tougher and I want to learn through this. You know, like, I want to learn, and it grew like such a mental toughness, you know, to be like, it's okay, you know, for everything to be a mess. It's okay, right? Like, it's okay. Like, what do I do to keep moving forward? What do I do to create this or that? And really growing resilient and really becoming a problem solver, you know? It's really exciting to see what happens. And it's all about personal development. Like, we want you guys growing. We want you learning. That is what makes Cutco so great. Yes, we have the best freaking knives. Yes, you can make a crap ton of money, but the development you get in this business personally, the skill sets, the confidence, and how it sets you up for your future, unparalleled. Like, there's nothing that freaking touches it, by the way, or comes near. Like, nothing that you can do at your age to grow and to be developed at this level. Nothing. So you guys can feel really freaking great about that, all right? And I encourage you guys, you know, keep growing. I heard Ashley mention earlier today, you've read how many books this year?
33.
33. It will be 34 by the end of the year, is what she said this morning, all right? Are you growing? You know, are you focused? And by the way, that is an average of almost 3 books a month, all right, that she's reading. I was pretty proud of one of my mentees that I was talking to out of Cutco, who said he read a book a month this year. And I was like, that's awesome. You know, we were sharing that. She said this morning, I was like, what the heck, all right? That's amazing. But just, are you focused on growing yourself and continue learning? So we have a whole book list for those who haven't seen it, you know, and I can post it in our group me of just different suggested books. You can share some of your favorites and post them up. I'd love your like top 10 list of the ones that you've read so people can look at it. But there's so much for you to keep growing. If you're not a constant reader, you know, my brother, I'm coaching him and his wife right now. And he was like, yeah, I have a really hard time reading. And I fall asleep. I said, download audiobooks, Josh. Listen to it while you're doing your lawn work. You know, like he does a lot outdoors at their house. And I said, while you're like gardening or doing lawn work or doing this, I said, listen to audiobooks. And so we started doing that, you know, and then I said, hey, read a book. I said, read it here. He's like, I just always fall asleep, you know? And so I've just been helping him with that. But I'm like, you got to keep feeding your mind. So whether, you know, it's audiobooks, it's podcasts, you know, and then find times. I said, just read 10 pages. That's it. I said, you won't fall asleep with 10 pages, you know? And so he's been working on that. It's just like 10 pages a day, like to read no matter what, like to physically read and highlight, make notes for himself. And I know I'd shared this before, and I love that in this business, you know, Lloyd had shared this at a wrap up at SLC. He said, never give up because the goal seems too big at first, okay? And I think about as we go into this time, right, and this push period and Cabo next year, and even this week, some of you guys have some big sales numbers that we're going after. Like, don't give up because it might seem too big. Number 2, you can accomplish more than you expect, so expect more. And I love when he said that because it's true, you know, like we're so much more capable. And I was listening to Rob Dial this past Saturday share a story of this top performer that was getting coached by some like crazy guy who does all these like things that you would be like, there's no way I can do that, you know? And the guy told him, he said, when you think you can't, like, you're going to keep going. He's like, he took him down to do like pull-ups. And he said, all right, do as many pull-ups as you can, you know? The guy did like, I don't know, 5 or 6 pull-ups, right? And then he said, all right, cool, do another one. And the guy, like, you know, it took him a little bit, did another one. Then he goes, all right, do one more. And the guy's like struggling to get another one in. He goes, cool, we're not leaving here till you do 100. So go ahead, do another one. He goes, however long it takes. And the guy did 100, all right? And it took a while, but it's like there's more in us, you know, than we think is there. So, have bigger expectations for yourself in terms of what's possible. Number 3, hard work pays off. Find a way. It always feels good. I have never worked my ass off, gotten to it and hit a goal and been like, man, I wish I hadn't done that. Never. All right. It hurts through the process sometimes, you're down, you've been knocked down, you're stressed. Like, it's just like, and sometimes the bigger things you're going for, the more obstacles you're having to go through. Right. But in the end, it feels so freaking good when you got that done. It always pays out. Find a way. All right. Number 4, you can handle way more responsibility than your years or your peers. And that's something that's so true, and especially in this business, think ahead, don't think as people your age. Like, what else can you take on your plate? Number 5, take responsibility. Don't wait for someone to bail you out. All right. Number 6, the greatest blessings come from the most difficult challenges and situations. Don't forget that. Don't forget that as you go into this year. Don't forget that as you go through anything personally, with family, with I mentioned this to a friend. We were talking 2 days ago, and I was sharing with him, and some of you guys have heard me talk about this, but the puzzle pieces in our lives. All right. And I told him, I said, look, this stuck with me from when I was a little girl. My uncle used to do these like 5,000 piece puzzles. And I was like the little crazy ADD kid who was like grabbing them, and I remember being like 11 years old and being like, where does this go? And looking, and I'm like overwhelmed at this like huge puzzle, because it wasn't the puzzles I used to do that like 10 pieces on it, and I'm just like, and he just looked at me, and I remember my uncle, I'm like, this isn't fit. I'm like trying to put it places, and he's just like, everything fits, everything belongs, and I remember him telling me, like, even sometimes you don't think that it goes with it. He's like, it's all part of the picture, and without it, the picture would be missing something, like there's going to be a hole in it. And I remember that just like that evolving into just like our lives, and like every piece, sometimes a piece doesn't feel like it fits. Sometimes it doesn't look like it fits. And it might be a different, weird color or weird shape or whatever it is. And it just doesn't seem like it belongs, but it's part of the picture. And you're like, but this is a weird brown, ugly color. And this picture is this beautiful waterfall and this like bright green sunshine, whatever, rainforest. But it might be the scum on the rock that's under the waterfall that, again, if it wasn't there, it would look weird. It wouldn't be a complete picture. And that's how our lives unravel. And some pieces we just don't know where they fit, but they all have a piece in the puzzle, and they're there. There's stuff to strengthen us, to grow from, if we allow it to, or we can just be like, oh, forget this. There's things put into our path, embrace them and just keep going, keep moving forward. You never know how you're going to bless somebody else. You never know how you're going to be able to coach somebody else, through your experiences. And I am a big believer, and anyone that coaches with me knows this, and not everyone follows this. And I think they should, because your life will be a lot better. But I'm a big believer in that everything happens for a reason and everything has its place. And I love Mother Teresa's quote that says, I know God doesn't give us more than we can handle. I just wish he didn't trust me so much. And she has a quote like that. I love it, because I'm like, yes. Because, it's just, we can handle it. We can handle more than we think we can, It might not feel like it at sometimes, but we really can. And lastly, your intentional influence can change the time-space continuum in a person's life. And, I just think about this year again, and you guys, whether you're in management internships, you're in entrepreneurship internships, and what your influence can be for that person, and knowing that like you can forever change that person's life. Don't forget that. As you're getting PRs, as you're recruiting, as you're building your team, as you're doing all your stuff, you never know whose life you can change forever because they interacted with you. All right, because they got a chance to meet you, and I think that's pretty freaking powerful. So as you move, as you take actions, as you do things, you need to make, and I'm telling you guys, you need to make a decision today. You need to make a decision as you go into this new year as to how you're going to carry yourself and what you're going to do, because that's what you want guiding you, that decision. Too many people, and who's seen this before? The decision train. Raise your hand if you've seen this. So I have you raise your hands, all right? Most people lead with feeling. Most people are like, oh, I want to get up today. All right, I'll go do this. All right. And many times it doesn't match the decision that they wanted to make. Let me tell you, if you always lead with the decision first and you take those actions, you always feel good about it. This week, there's been time I'm like, I don't want to go. I don't feel like going to the gym. I'm not going to go. And then later I'm like, oh, I feel like crap. It didn't follow what I wanted. Right. This morning, I did not want to get up. The alarm went off at 6:30. The alarm went off at 6:40. know. It's like, I'm so tired. And I was like up last night unbagging. I was like, no way. And then I was just like, no, I made a decision to freaking work out every day in the morning and to get my butt up and get to the freaking gym. You know, and I got up like a zombie, grabbed my stuff, and drove to 24-hour fitness and worked out. And you know what? After I worked out, I was like, oh, so glad I did this. Like, I felt so good, you know, got here, ready for the meeting. Let's conquer the day, you know? So I've never, and by the way, I don't know if you guys can agree with this. I've never gone to the gym, worked out, and afterwards been like, I shouldn't have done that. Like, I've never like felt bad that I like went ever. I've always, you know, but many times have I like regretted like not going or not doing stuff. So I'll tell you guys, it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. And it's going to be a big year. It's going to be a big year of growth, you know, and for you guys, as you're going into this, like, it's not an easy task. Being in a leadership role, going after big goals, it's tough, and you're going to get challenged, all right? Because guess what? If it was easy, everybody would do it. Everybody would do it. Don't forget that. In sales, if sales were easy, everybody would do it. Sales is the second highest paid profession in the world. It's the only thing higher, or like entertainment, you know? So whether they're actors, athletes, whatever, like it's higher than doctors, lawyers, second highest paid profession in the world, all right? If it was easy, everybody would do it. It's a pretty good paying job, but it's not easy. You have to deal with reduction, you know? You have to be disciplined. You have to persevere. You have to be able to set goals, you know, and go after it, because in most sales jobs, you don't have someone telling you what you have to do. It's really up to you, what you want to do, you know? And you're going to learn those things here. So again, it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. And I'm really excited for 2017. So I want to dive into, how's it going to get done? How's this year going to happen? You know, like how do we, as a management team in our offices, you know, have our best year? And there's two main focuses we've been talking about of what it takes to go out and dominate. Number one, we've got to recruit a bad butt organization. You know, we need a squad, and we need to multiply our squad. That's number one. Number two is we need to develop that squad to go out and kick some butt. And so today we're going to walk through first the building aspect and our main builder with PRs. We're going to go through, and I'm going to break out with the AMs, and Jordan's going to walk through how to run your cycle and make sure you guys know what you need to do to make sure you hit the goals that you want to have for your cycle. And then we're going to come together, and I'm going to go through the development and PDI and development portion, and Philippe will wrap us up at the end, okay? And really making sure we have this thing down. So when it comes to PRs, all right, so let's talk about recruitment, all right? So we'll dive into the recruitment aspect. So we want to build a team, all right? What are the things that we need to, how do we create recruits? How do we do that? Talk to me. How do we create recruits? Besides PRs, we all know PRs, all right? Besides PRs, what else do you have, huh? All right, so that's all part of PR. So we have, you know, mailers, which we send out. Those are plug and play. We don't do anything for that. Web apps, all right? Company does that, so you'll get like random, you know, Craigslist and Snag a Job and whatever it is. So mailers, web apps. What else? What are other ways that we get recruits?
Campus.
All right, campus. So this is proactive. So campus, all right. You guys, by the way, you guys can put ads up, you know, at your school campuses. You can ask the high schools to put ads up and just see what they have going on. Also Facebook groups, you know, but campus is definitely something that you guys can do, and you can do tables, all right, and send people tables, and also just face-to-face recruitment, you know, on your campuses. You also have off-campus, right? You guys can go to the beach. You can go to the mall, you can go to the movies, you know, like when I was in Sarasota and Bradenton in my branch, like I went to the beach. I went to where pool halls, bowling alleys, things like that. And I asked them to put up posters there. And I also went and talked to people and said, hey, do you guys know what? And I face-to-face recruited. I did these same things. So just like flyers, you know, posters, just like we would do on campus, you know, as well. And I would also face-to-face recruit at those, all right? And that's a great way to meet more people. And so even if you don't have a bunch of access with campus, those are things that you can do, all right? Social advertising, which will be a big thing that we've been talking about, right? We talked about it at CFC. Social advertising, so this would be like Facebook messages, right? Sending out messages. So we talked about this at CFC. I know we talked about this in Olean, all right? And just the power of social advertising. And by the way, there's a whole strategy, exact strategy that'll be unveiled at the Year in Banquet. from some of the top performers from this past year that ran branches, and what to do to start friending people, building relationships and stuff in your area before the summer hits, to really be able to dominate with recruiting once the summer takes off. So this is something you guys are going to hear a lot about, is social advertising. So this would be, you know, Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram, right? So doing stuff through there. And by the way, we also get a lot of PRs from here, all right? But even you, without reps, can do social advertising. And then obviously that's an easy way for your reps to get more PRs, is to also, for them to use social advertising, all right? But going into it, that's something that Austin just mentioned, Max Preps, where you can look up your schools and see the top athletes. You can look at your school websites and you can look up people there. So again, we're gonna talk about this more in January with Preps to make sure that this is happening and getting you guys set up, all right? Because this is where the first initial people in most cases will come from, right? Because you need someone to PR, right? Now, some of you guys in your territory, you might know some people you can get PRs from. Another thing is past reps, all right? So talking to past reps. When I moved to West Houston last year, that's how I got going here, all right? Christian Harwood, met with him. He wasn't gonna do the job, and he didn't work that summer. He worked this past summer. Some of you met him in Dawson's office. But the summer before, he wasn't gonna work, but he helped get me some people, and I got 2 people from him for Memorial, and I got people from them, and really built PRs off of that, you know? So past reps are definitely a great way to get PRs, but this is where you're gonna get PRs off of, all right? People come into interviews, you'll get PRs from them in the interview. They come to training, you'll get PRs from them there. So this is kind of the source of everything, right? And then you have your PRs. And let me see. Hey, Mary Lou, do we have the PR papers? Okay. All right. So we'll go through this here. But we've got our traditional program, okay? So this is all, you know, ways of creating recruits, all right? And then we know our #1 source, period, is PRs. And this right here, that's how we're going to take down, you know, a national title. That's how we're going to break them down. Here's the deal. I have started offices in different cities all through my career, okay, over and over and over. So I went to Bradenton, Sarasota, ran a branch in Bradenton. Then I opened up in Sarasota. Then I opened up in Fort Lauderdale. Then I opened up in Central Miami. Then I opened up in South Miami. Then I took over all the metro area. And by the way, within those, when I moved the first summer to Central Miami, I moved 3 times that summer. It was really fun. But I had different reps that I worked with in different parts of Miami. And then I moved here and started again from scratch here, you know? And you can start anywhere, anytime. And if you look at my organizations and our biggest years and our biggest summers, it's all based on PRs. And not just my organization. If you look across the board, the top 10 managers in the company, and you look at where their recruits came from and how it was built, it's PRs. And guys, here's the deal. We spent a lot of money. Like last summer on mailers, I spent $50,000, okay? Sending out letters, or excuse me, I'm lying. $35,000 is what I spent on sending out letters. All right, I spent over $50,000 on advertising with that and online. We did Facebook advertising, and then I also get charged for the online, you know, web apps and stuff we get charged for. But I spent over on that. And by the way, most of my business and most of my recruits, guess what they were? PRs. I'd rather spread $50,000 in this room than pay for whatever and hope to see what comes in, when I know that if I'm getting my guys' friends, they're going to be great. Like, I just know. Some might suck, but they might lead us to other people. But I have a better shot of getting great people, so I'd rather redirect that money to you guys, all right? So something that I've done for years as we went from, from contest to contest, for us, it's been, setting different contests and just hooking my guys up with cash and saying, hey, dude, you help us build a team, like, I'm gonna hook you up, I'm gonna help you out. And we want to build this organization from the right people, all right? And so what I've seen for years, so I've been doing this for about 13 years, or 14 years, when I'm running an office, that I've talked to people about how we're gonna build it. And the fact is, our PRs, by the way, statistically, if you look at numbers in the company, they productivity is higher, all right, automatically when you're dealing with PRs. Why else are PRs great to work with?
They're friends of
They're friends. They're more connected. And so they also stick around longer, all right? It's more fun, right? So you have the competition, that friendly competition where they're competing with each other. Why else do you want to work with PRs?
They trust you more.
All right.
It's easy as a trainer. So that's why you need to do a
Yeah.
quicker, more blunt training, and then we'll sell just as much. Not more.
Yep.
Parents,
Hmm.
parents.
Yeah, people are more calm. So like, there's less skepticism involved in coming into the job and doing the job when we're dealing with PRs, all right? What are reasons that people don't give PRs? What are reasons that people are hesitant to give PRs? Anyone want to shoot any out? I know the ones I've seen for years. Huh? Yeah, and by the way, guys, everyone, and I've dealt with different people, and they're just like, oh, I don't want them to make me look bad. You know, I always tell people, I'm like, hey, everyone has their lazy friends, everyone has their drug dealer friends, everyone has their friends that party too much, you know, like, I know that, I already know that, all right? I'd love to meet, and I tell them, I go, look, by the way, you never know whose life you'll change, all right? That was Tyler Tarr. He was recommended to the job, and his friend told me, he's like, hey, Kat, this kid was in juvie. He's been in a lot of trouble, all right? He's been arrested a couple times. I just want to let you know. He's like, but, you know, and I remember the guy said, he goes, but you know what? He's got a good heart. And he was actually, which is crazy, he was actually recommending him, which even Tyler, when Tyler recommended a bunch of friends, he was telling me, he's like, oh, you won't like Mike Arrieta. You shouldn't call this person. And I was like, Tyler, I said, someone gave you a chance. He's like, you're right. I said, you never know. And he's like, yeah, call my whole phone. And Tyler had his phone, and he ended up being the #1 national team builder 10 years ago. When he did that. But I remember Tyler, when he was first trying, this is one of my first offices, we built Fort Lauderdale when I moved from Sarasota to Fort Lauderdale. And I said, we're looking for people who are going to help us build a team. Like, we're looking for people to team up with. And when you guys have your offices, that's something you're looking for. Like, who's going to team up with you? And let them know, look, I don't care. Some people are going to be lazy. Some people get into trouble. So, like, that's fine. You know, maybe they work for a week. Maybe it's not for them. Maybe they quit. You know what? But you did something good for them by giving them a shot. And you never know whose life you impact. Like Tyler. Tyler came in, all right, he called into his telemarketing job. He was in a lot of trouble. His parents, to this day, like when I see them, his mom's eyes well up every time she sees me. I'm like, it was a long time ago. She's like, you just saved my son's life. Like, she always like gets teared up, but she's like, he'd literally be like locked up forever, or I don't know, dead. Like, he just got into a lot of trouble when he was younger. And this was a place where he was really able to hone into skills that he had dealing with people, and he loved it. He had a 10K fast start, all right? He won the trip. He came to the Bahamas. He started during this time, by the way, during January program. So he started right after Christmas seminar going into 2006. And, you know, he ended up being moving his way up. He was a top assistant manager for me in summer of 2006. 2007, he ran his own branch. 2008, he helped me break every single record in Miami as I moved there and built an organization from scratch. 2009, he went district manager in Tallahassee, Florida, and developed the Seminoles grounds and passed it on to Carlos Cordero, who was one of the guys he worked with and now has been dominating over in Tallahassee. And it's so cool, you know, to watch. And this is somebody who was in a really, really dark place, you know, and his buddy was just like, hey, I don't know, but like, let's give him a shot. And that's how you should be. You never know who you might help, all right? If they suck, if they are not good, like, we're not gonna judge you. We're just gonna say, see you later, bye, you know? But you never know when it's so impactful for them. That was one of the guys on his list, Mike Arrieta. Some of you guys have heard the name Mike Arrieta before. Mike Arrieta is a kid I talked about earlier who graduated, who was Rookie of the Year in 2006 at 17. While he was in high school and into college. That year, he earned over $50,000, more than any of his teachers. And Mikey came into the interview, and I talked to Mike on the phone, and Mike had a huge stutter, hardcore speech impediment, okay? And he was like stumbling all over his words. And I was like, yo, I called Tyler, and I was like, I talked to your friend Mike. I'm like, what's his deal? He's like, oh, yeah. I'm like, what's that mean? And he's like, oh, well, we got into a fight. I haven't talked to him in 2 years. And I was like, oh, dude, I don't want fights in my office. He's like, no, you told me to give you my whole phone. I'm like, no, that's cool. I appreciate it. He goes, no, but like, he goes, whatever, stupid. He's like, it was over a girl. We haven't talked. We used to be really good friends growing up. He's like, you're not going to like him anyway. He can't even speak straight. He's like, he's kind of this ghetto Puerto Rican, you know? And I was just like, okay. He's like, I mean, meet him. He's like, but He's like, there wouldn't be beef between us. We'd be fine. He goes, if you want to help him out. He's like, but I mean, I don't think you're going to like him. I'm like, all right. Mikey came to his interview with a big tee. For those who don't know, that's a t-shirt that goes to like your knees. All right. He has like baggy jeans, and it's like all he had, big old diamond earrings. I'm talking big old diamond earrings. And he has like a blowout haircut. And he comes in, and if you see this kid now, he's like GQ, all right, front of the magazine of GQ. But he dresses like Jordan, all right. But Mikey, GQ, all right. So anyway, Mikey comes in, and he comes into the interview, super, and he's like, I'm so sorry, like whatever, he had come from school. And we were just like, all right, whatever. And Danielle Harnish, one of my assistants, interviewed him. We selected him. Kid had his first promotion, his first sale. Second promotion his next day. Third promotion later that week. Consistency. He was on the newsletter every single week that year. Won the Silver Cup. National champion. This job changed his life, okay, and impacted his family. He didn't come from money. His family, his mom was on disability. His dad had stuff going on. It was on unemployment, just a lot of stuff happening. Kid was a hustler, though, all right? He worked really hard, and he moved his way up. He won scholarships. He won scholarships that next year in 2007, in 2008. By the way, he decided he didn't want to go to UCF. He wanted to go to University of Alabama, bought a house, rented it out to his friends. He came back 2009. He ended up going to New York for the summer. Was #1 in the nation, All-American Scholarship. 2010, #1 in the nation, All-American Scholarship winner, and graduated college with over $250,000 in the bank, And this is a kid that Tyler was like, and T literally just gave me his whole phone. He just emptied out his phone. He was like, here, Kat, just whatever, see who needs work. Like, what's the worst that can happen? They say no. Like, I don't give a crap if they say no. What's the best that can happen? You forever change their life, or you impact them in a big way, Another reason people are embarrassed. They don't want to make them look bad. Another thing is people have a job. Has anyone not recommended someone because they already have a job? No one recommended me for 3 years because I already had a job. I found a business card on the floor of the parking lot of my business school that said student work. And I was like, oh, what's this? And I took a dirty business card from the floor. I went to the library. I went online, read about it, said, this sounds cool, and applied online. By the way, I did have other jobs. I worked at Macy's, and I worked as a waitress. But I hated it. And I didn't make as much money. I wanted to save a lot of money because I wanted to go to London that fall. When I went in for the interview, one of my buddies is an assistant manager there. He walks by. I was like, Bo. He's like, yeah. I'm like, what are you doing here? He's like, I'm an assistant manager. I started laughing, all right? You actually remind me so much of Bo. It's so crazy. Every time I see him, he's just like, what's up? Just like super chill surfer dude. And he had his old, he had a 2003 Cobra Mustang. This was an 02 convertible. We all used to go to the beach in it. And so I'm like, what is this place? He's like, oh, we sell knives. I was like, what? He's like, no, it's legit. He's like, yeah, I bought my Cobra last year with it. He's like talking to me. And I was just like, huh. And then I found out, he's like, oh yeah, Sheets works here, Peter works here, Grimshaw works here. He's like, Dan works here, Kelly works here. And I'm like, what? I'm like, and these are people that were in my honors college. My honors college only has 30 people per class. And I'm like, no one told me. And as I talked to Grimshaw and I talked to Sheets, I talked to Matt Netherlander, like, oh, well, you already had a job, And like, no one ever told me. And by the way, I made $1,600 my first week. I quit one job. I quit the other job 2 weeks later. I made $22,000, and I have done all right for the past 15 years. And nobody told me. I'm like, I wish I would have known about this 3 years back. And no one ever told me about it. And they were all fighting over me to get like a bonus off of me or whatever. Tell them I recommended you. Tell them I recommended you. Like there's always like trips and different things that managers did, and they could get like, different bonuses. But I'm like, no, I found a business card on the floor. None of you are getting anything from me. All right. Because no one recommended me. And they were like, oh my God. And even to this day, like, I can't believe you're still doing the knife thing. I'm like, I can't believe you never recommended me. All right. But they buy Cutco from me now, all right? But it's pretty cool, but you never know. So people won't recommend someone because of that. There's some people, by the way, that don't need jobs, all right? You guys know those people, right? Like, oh, they don't really need a job. Well, guess what they do need? Experience. They might not need a job, but they need experience. Oh, they're going to take over their dad's company. Great. We don't want it to crash it into the ground, right? So they probably want to have some experience, and I'm sure their parents would be very happy for them to know how to run a business. And some of my guys who don't need jobs, they love this because of that. That was Adriano Diaz. Adriano Diaz grew up very wealthy. His father owned multiple companies, left him a lot of money. When he had passed away. And so Adriano's set for life. Unfortunately, his father was gone, but he was set up financially. And something Adriano said to me when he was 17, he's like, I want to learn how to run businesses like my dad did. He's like, I want to make him proud. He's like, I don't need the money. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be a business owner. And that summer, Adriano was number 12 in the nation, All-American Scholarship winner, turned 18 in August, went to Boston College, was working with us up there, wanted to run a branch. He was the youngest I ever had go into the program. He talked to Dr. Victoria Crittenton, who was running, she was on our board actually up there before she went to Babson. She got him involved with stuff up there. He trained one of the top branches the next summer in 2013. He came to Panama with us, one of the top in the company, and then ran another branch the year after that, and then landed his dream job. He transferred to University of Miami, and he's working. He got so many different offers, and he's doing incredible things right now with a company that he wanted to work with, and then he has other companies that he's starting. And he's like, he learned so much here and saved so much money here. So again, I share these things because you never know. And there's people, they don't need money, but they need the experience or they want the experience. And their parents are saying, don't work, go do an internship, right? Because they want their resume to stand out, because they want them to stand out. Well, guys, this is the best job where they can earn income. And if they don't want it, great, they can give it to me. But they can also get unbelievable experience, all right? I love having extra money. All right, more trips, more things, it's fun, all right? So again, just never prejudge. You never know who you're helping. You never know what you're doing. And by the way, don't be afraid to ask again, because there's people like Carlos, all right, like Carlos Lunita, this guy right here, that said no 6 times. He wasn't interested in the job. And his friend recommends it, and it's like, bro, you need to check it out. And finally, he was like, all right, man, I'll come in. Guy sold $50K in 4 weeks.
Wow.
Number 10 All-American Scholarship winner, 30-something grand SC2 push, crushed it. All right, summer of 2014. And now he's running his dad's company. And this was a kid, by the way, that all his friends even said, this kid's a partier, he's an alcoholic, like literally he should be in AA meetings. His parents told me, they did a whole birthday dinner for me that August, and just like, thank you so much. They're like, our son literally would like take pride in like who could black out the fastest, you know, and like he wanted to run our companies, and we're like, there's no way. And they own like 2 different companies. And by the way, after that first summer and going through my leadership academy, his dad put him in charge of one of the companies, and so he's been running his company with him. And his dad's like, there's no way I would have even considered my son for that. And Carlos told me, he's like, thank you, you know, because it got his shit straight. He still has to party, but he showed his dad that he was responsible. He could get up early. He met me every single morning at 7 a.m. for a month, basically, like, because he did it in his fast start, and then he did it through SC2. And his dad was just like, holy crap, all right? So again, I could tell you guys a million stories, but there's so many people out there that you haven't recommended. There's people that you recommended who said no, that it might have taken the 4th, 5th, or 6th time for them to go, you know what, let me check it out. Let me check it out. You've been bothering me about this, all right? And it's that conversation of like, dude, why would I keep telling you if it wasn't something that was good? Why would I still be working there if it wasn't something? Check it out. You have nothing to lose, you know? And that's what the thing of like, check it out. You have nothing to lose. So for you guys, something that I know Angie was with me for 4 years, and every year during this time, she would get tons of PRs, every single year. And what would she do? She would send a private message to people, and she'd adjust the beginning of it, and she would send a private message and just say, hey, dude, I'm just reaching out because my job has some openings for the holidays. We're really looking for some extra hands. Great way to earn some cash. Killer to put on your resume, and there's a trip to Cabo you can win with me. Let me know if you know anyone who wants more info. That's it. You should just send that to people. And guess what? People responded. All right, people responded. So I'm going to show you guys this. So we're going to have a little contest here for you guys, all right, to get this started, because I really want to encourage you guys to become recruiters, to constantly be sharing the opportunity, you know, with people. You guys are going out to run offices or be assistant managers. Like, you should be proud. Like, when people don't tell their friends out, like, dude, you need to work here, to me, I'm like, what are you, embarrassed of your job? You know, like, they're not going to take anything from you. Even if they go see one of the same people, they're going to branch out with a bunch of other recommendations. The friend's mom, like, she might have given them some people. She's going to give them a lot more, you know. Jay, Vaughn, that's Alex Chavez's, his mom is Alex Chavez's customer. She went back to service him, and then she talked to him and said, hey, your son should do this. She's like, yes, I want my son to do this. And guess what? She had given Chavez recommendations, but she also gave her son a lot more people, all right? And he went out and did $11,000 his first week. He did that in like 4 days, by the way, all right? And built off of that and showed his dad that he could like take over that company. So what I want you guys to do, we're gonna have a little contest for you guys, is everyone take out a piece of paper. That's what I said earlier. You're gonna need a piece of paper. So steal from a friend who has a notebook, grab a pen, all right? Let's go, let's go, let's go. All right. You can email it if you have to.
I can-
All right. All right, don't write yet. All right, we're gonna have a little contest. We have a little contest here. All right. Here's what we're gonna do. By the way, as we do this, I'm gonna brainstorm some people. I want you guys. You are, and I'll tell you when you're allowed to. Scroll through your phone. You're allowed to look. Who are people that you can reach back up to? But we're gonna make a list. All right, and I want everyone to make a list. And whether you get to 50, 75, 100, anyone who's over 100 is gonna get into a drawing for a piece of Cutco that I have, and then we're gonna do a little rough driven contest. We're gonna do some messages, and someone's gonna win the K-bar. Cool? So right now, we're gonna write down anyone that you could reach out to. By the way, whether it's for them or for their friends. So you're not gonna necessarily say like, hey, do you wanna work? Just like, hey, my job really needs help, da-da-da. Hey, let me know if you know anyone. So I'm gonna write the message up here while you guys are writing. When I say go, I want you to scroll through your phone and just start writing everyone that you could reach out to, whether it's for them or to get leads from them, people that might be looking for work. All right?
Just their name.
You can put just their name as long as you have their number and you're able to reach out to them. You can just put their name. All right. So ready, set, go. Start writing. You just put first names only. Scroll through your phone. Scroll through whatever. Even if you messaged them before, you want to message them again, asking them who they know for this year. They might have not done anything last year, and then this year they're like, yeah, dude, I'm down. Let's do this. Quietly write. Oh, shoot, I forgot to mention, I know it was up here, but if you guys have 5 friends, some of you guys have already had a couple start this fall, so it's a total of 5 by the end of the year, the next 3 weeks.
Next 3 weeks is technically-
It goes into the new year too. Yep, just by first week of January. If you have 3 friends, or excuse me, if you have 5 total, so through the fall until the second week of January, if you have 5 people that hit their first promotion within these next 3 weeks, you are coming for free on our cruise, 4 days, 3 nights. Cool. And some of these people on this that you reach out to, like I said, they might not be interested, but they're like, oh, my friend's looking for work. And you never know when you get that.
When is the
And by the way, this summer, a lot of my best kids came from, don't worry about that right now, just right, came from a kid during the break who said he wasn't interested and then reached back and said, oh, my friend is. And the friend came in, Brandon Bain, who was the president of Strake, and then he recommended a bunch of his friends that were a big part of our summer. So you just never know. You guys quietly write, please. The majority of you guys are still writing. Keep writing. Those of you who are done or as you're done, I just put in the Silver Cup team, like the message that Angie sent out. I wrote it here, but I actually just typed it out. So you have it, so you could copy it. And she was just like, hey, what's up? You know, reason I'm randomly, and I put randomly in parentheses because if it was like out of the blue, she hadn't talked to me in a while, she put randomly. If not, then she was just like, yo, reason I'm reaching out is because the company I've been working for is looking to bring on some people over the break. Pay starts at $16, goes up from there, and schedules are super flexible. Thought I'd write you because, and she was like, you know, I know you're just like really good people. I know you're looking for a job, or I think you do really well with it. You know, so for most people, she was like, oh, I thought you do really well with it, or most FIU students have done really well, or students from Doral have freaking kicked ass with it, you know, whatever. You don't even have to put that part, but that's something that she always did. And then she's like, let me know if you might be interested in earning cash over the break or know anyone who might. Hope finals went well. Cool. That's the message she sent. You can adjust it. You can make your own. You can copy and use that. I know it works. She got PRs every single holiday break for 4 years, just sending that to people. So right now, I want you guys to send at least 25 messages real quick, because then we can see by the end of later, we'll have a little rep driven time. Anyone that like responds or wants to check it out. For every 2 people that we set up before we leave here later, we're gonna do the drawing for the K-bar. And then everyone who submits over 50 names, that those are gonna go to your manager. But you guys as people, you wanna send messages out to them. That's where you're gonna get most of your people, especially you guys been here a while. You just wanna send those messages out yourself. So on that paper, as you send it, just put a little check mark that you sent them a message. So copy paste, do it on text, do it on social, let's do it. Hey, okay, we're raising money for the clinic. If they want to buy a brick, the bricks are going to go on the floor of the clinic. The deadline's tomorrow night because we're laying the bricks the first week of January. If they want to donate any amount of money, like we're trying to raise, we need to raise $20,000 more to finish up the clinic. So each member going has a certain amount they're raising. My goal is to raise 3,000. I've raised about 1,300 so far. So I need to raise $1,700 more. So you can contribute towards that, but just that's to finish up the clinic. Now, some people might want to donate on a monthly basis. Like I have friends who have like a monthly amount that goes to Angel Wings, or people can donate different ways. So if you see the picture that I posted up this morning, it shows the brochure and it shows like one-time donation, monthly donations, where they could buy a brick. So, yeah, so check that out. Okay, awesome. All right, touch you later, bud.
Could you also put at the end of that message if you or if you know anybody?
Oh, yeah.
Way
I think I
it
did
never
that.
goes.
I think it says that, but you can adjust it however, you can change the verbiage to make sure you like it, but yeah, I get it. It says, if you're interested in earning cash over the break or know anyone who might, so you might want to make it more clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying there.
I like your dress. Where'd you get?
Zara.
Really? And then the gallery.
Oh, it's in Miami.
Oh,
But there is one gallery. Start sending, text them all or message them on social. Check them off when you message them. I want to make sure you guys send 25 messages real quick, and then you can keep working on them.
It's just
Too high.
No.
Did she? Oh.
Hmm?
Oh,
I
that,
put it in the group. Go and group me. When you send your first 25, tell me. Say 25. You can send them text. If you have their number, I'd send it via text. If you only have them on social, just private message on social. I wouldn't stop at 25. If you can send more out while everyone else is sitting there, send them out. While you guys are working on that, so this is we talked about like traditional PRs. Obviously in training, you guys get a list, right? How you guys are making a list now or going through, but it's their first original list. You're having them do their top 10, right? That they're shooting messages to, and the rest of it you're going to traditionally text or call, right? That's the traditional program. Something we had not talked about is the rep-driven program, and what are you doing with rep-driven? So rep-driven means the rep is driving it, like you guys are driving this part of this. So when your reps first come to advanced training, the social post, you know, having something up on the board, and I'm gonna screenshot this and put it in there. But social post, hey, my job has some openings, hit me up for info type thing. Then Philippe, you know, having them actually text, like I'm telling you, send out message to your top 25, like having them at the end message your top 5 to 10. Some are gonna message more of those people, all right? And then lastly, at the end of AT, you wanna make sure you alley-oop, and the goal is to set 2 or more per person. Same thing here today with you guys. I want you to send out like 25 messages to see who responds, and by the end, we can get some people set up for interviews for next week. We'll have the drawing for the K-Bar. Then when you guys have PCs Monday through Wednesday, you know, you wanna do their skills checks, do whatever PC you're doing, but you also wanna do 30 to 45 minutes of rep-driven with them. Have them make a top 30 list of who are people from their list we haven't reached. Have them do a 3-way text or heads up. By the way, 3-way text is the best. I met yesterday with Lorena and Mary Lou, and we were talking about what worked last year and what's worked the past 2 years. That's our bread and butter, is the 3-way text. Like, I love 3-way text. Then have them post something on social in general. By the way, can you guys post something on social as well? Heck yeah. If you want to post the video link, you know, to the YouTube and just say, my job is better than yours. You know, no, I'm just kidding. But you could just be like, hey, my job has a big contest over the break, looking for extra, they're looking for extra help. If you're interested in earning some money over break or possibly winning a trip to Cabo, hit me up, you know, or whatever you want to put. You guys can also put social post up, but where you're going to get the most is typically from texting people or private messages. But social posts are also good things where you can get extra. So I'd encourage you guys, and I'll post up, or can you look up the link on our, yeah, it's in the
video.
Yeah, the video link. Yeah, to put it into the GCLA again, just so they have it. Yeah, because they can use that on Facebook. You can put the link up to share with people on a group post, or like a general post. But that's something your reps can do. Then at team meeting, you have, you know, set any of the spillover, anyone who's inquired in the last 2 days, and you can have them put up a new social post. And then bonus in the PRPC is have them have the rep text all the people that weren't reached and say, hey, not sure if you heard from my manager, but I recommended you for a job. Great starting pay, cool people, great for your resume. I tell them, say whatever you want to say, and then just say, hey, let me know if you want more info or know anyone who might. All right. So anyone that you haven't reached from their list, doing that, you're going to get more people. And then what I'm having you guys do now, this is another bonus thing, have them send a private message to 50 to 100 people. If you send a private message to 50, 100 people, it's kind of hard not to get a couple PRs, you know, and if you send more, like she typically sent 200 or 300, Angie, and that's how she got like 5 to 7 people or more every break to always win the trip or whatever we were doing, because it typically was kind of a, based on who we talked to, it's a 12 to 1 ratio. So you want more people message so that we can get people through the door. All right. So that's something that I'm going to send to you guys so you know this is the process that you want to go through. That when I quiz you guys, when we meet at your banquet, what is the rep-driven process? Do you know the process? This is it. Cool. Super simple. I just want to make sure we're all on the same program in terms of how this works. So I'm gonna post this up here again. Anyone get their first 25 sent out yet? Check them out.